What's up, y'all? So we're back with another one. Week one, starting my creative journey again with the artist way. So if you've seen the previous video, I already talked about the morning pages and the weekly artist day. Now I'm going to go into week one of the artist way. Now I have my notes with me. I got my book with me. I got everything that I want to cover. So the title of week one is Recovering a Sense of Safety. And what that means, like, to me, is making sure that you're safe, making sure that your body is safe, making sure that your nervous system is at a calm state, because you can't fool your nervous system. So you want to make sure that you're not feeling less motivated or anxious or nervous or stressed and all these things when you're trying to get into your creative mode. Now, that may be the thing a lot of us struggle with in life is it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on in the world, on the news, in our families, at work, literally everywhere. So it's kind of hard regulating that nervous system. So that's why I prioritize self-care and techniques to make sure that I'm doing things to keep me at a balanced and flow state. Now, some things that pointed out to me in week one is first, our gifts are ignored and suppressed as a child. So the enemy growing up, this chapter really focused a lot on the enemy. Who are the people who just put your gifts to the side or told you that that's too out of the ballpark? Or, like for me, I dreamed so big growing up. I always thought that like I would be a performer, I would be on stage, I'll be winning awards, and I did all those things growing up. But like it took a toll when I got older into like high school or college years, when I was like, okay, I'm about to be an adult now, and all these things that I thought, like, I didn't have the support a lot from my family far as pushing those goals to be my reality. So a lot of those things were ignored and suppressed as I was growing up. So Julia wanted us to point out who those enemies are. And in the activity, she was like, identify 3 enemies. And I was like, all right, I got the 3. Okay. And then I had to write a letter to the enemy just about one time that I felt that, they didn't believe in me. And this starts deep, like with family, with teachers, with just associates, just a lot of times the people who actually did support me when I look back when I was growing up is people that I really didn't know, or people who seen my different performances and things like that, and they were like, you're gonna be something one day. But I never really got that from people that were really close to me, so it was hard being motivated. So that's the first stage, is identifying what the enemy is. Now, times when people try to distract you from your dream, and when I think about that, is like anytime that you try to lock in and really go full force. Like right now, I'm locked in. I've been locked in over the past few weeks, and I'm isolated. Like, I don't have my phone in reach for people. I'm not really answering the phone. I'm really just to myself, and I'm just locking all the way in. A lot of times when you try to lock in, distractions come from all different directions. And don't get me wrong, distractions are still coming in full force. I just know how to analyze them now. So next thing that we talked about in week one is the shadow artist. So the shadow artist, the person, like for me, it said when you're too busy helping others. And this really resonated with me because you would find friends, you would find a significant other, or you'll just find somebody and try to stay within their shadow. And I'll see a lot, like, I didn't necessarily try to find people who are more creative than me and things like that. But when I just got into my relationship the past couple of years, I found someone who was actually my soulmate, and he's very creative as well. Very creative, especially in like the music industry. And the story about meeting him, when I met him, I was more like in a healing stage. At that time, I had moved back home, wanted to help with my parents. I was helping with children at the time. And then I wanted to help him, whether that was just with pushing his music, helping him build his brand and health. I was already helping people with health. I had turned into like this helper of being a shadow artist instead of me being the center of the show. Now, that's totally fine, especially if you're in a relationship, but it's still not good if you're not pushing who you are. So I had to be like, you know what, Keisha? It's time to get back to you. Like, what it is that you need to do. And I remember a lot of times that they'll be like, it's always about him. It's always about this. It's always about that. I don't hear it being about you anymore. So that changes, especially when you're a mother, when you are like busy within life and school. And I always been in school. I always been doing a lot of things in my life. So now it's like I have to step back, breathe, put in some time to really manifest and go all in within my dreams. And yeah, that's just a nutshell within itself. The shadow artist, making sure you get out of that shadow. That was really important to me. I feel like that was the most important aspect of week one that really stuck with me the most. Like when I first started this book, I was like, I've been so focused on everybody else, like my partner, my son, my family, the world, my followers, this isn't that. What about what I want? So that really stuck with me the most. Being blocked and then leaning towards survival mode and making sure that it's safe in that way. So identifying your blockages. The morning pages have really helped me because I have to get up and write every single day. Like every single day, no matter what's on my mind, getting up and write, just getting more creative. And as I start to begin to flow, I said, you know what, we got to get this YouTube channel going, something I've been procrastinating on for so long. And let's just put it out there. Like I'm a perfectionist, so it's hard, like when you don't have all the tools and resources that you think that you need. But I feel like in this time that we're in now, it's all about being authentic and being who you truly are and sharing your message of what you have to say. And that's really that matters right now, is just being authentic and being who you are. No matter what the audience say or feel, like if the message resonates, it resonates, and if it don't, it don't. Now let's go into like, those were like all, I would say, the negatives, all the things that had to like push me. Because like when I read about the shadow artist and about my enemies and writing a letter to them, I'm like, God damn, like I gotta let all this shit out. It's like I was doing shadow work again. So on the flip side, positive, I had to write a champion letter. And I wrote a champion letter to a dear friend growing up who helped teach me how to dance, who always supported me. And his name is Ardell Clark. Shout out to Ardell, just because like he always called me queen too. And it was like I always got this energy of like, he knows that I'm going to be something big someday. So I wrote a champion letter to him. Shout out to him. He's my college, I mean, not my college, my high school advisor, and just well-rounded, talented, creative individual. Wrote that champion letter, made me feel good, just from the flip side of doing all the healing and then thinking about the positive people who actually was in my life. And then it was another activity where I needed to go back to my inner child and write a letter to myself and just be like, you know what, it's okay. And just going back and just being in that time frame and doing some astro traveling, like it was just a beautiful feeling just to go back and look at my younger self and just kind of see and just understand how like I used to feel. Lastly, I want to talk about the 5 imaginary lives. Now, I'll walk you guys through this activity just because it was one of my favorite activities. So I'll read and share what I had came up with. So with this activity, it's in the beginning while I'm over here looking through it. You have to discover 5 imaginary lives. So 5 lives that you wish you were. And then start using some of those things within the lives that you know could spark that creativity now, even if you can't be that life. My first one was to be a pop star. I always loved performing, dancing, acting, modeling, all these different things. So being a pop star is one of my imaginary lives for sure. I really was a big fan of Michael Jackson. Another one was being a queen of a country. So just being free with my crown, dressed pretty, with my own castle in my own country. Like, that's another imaginary life for me. And then being a researcher and a scientist was my third one. This came a little bit later because I like to learn and I like to travel and explore now, being older. So that's why that's one of my imaginary lives. And a professional women's basketball player. Now, your girl used to win the free throw champion of Michigan trophies back to back to back growing up. I used to shoot everybody lights out, and I was really good at basketball. So that's another imaginary life I should have pursued. And then being a healer, as a superhero. So just being able to go and heal people, and have that gift to do so. So those are my 5 imaginary lives that I came up with, and I want to just kind of share with y'all. So if you ever spark the imagination to want to do that or try that, definitely do it. It's a creative and it's a unique activity, and I loved the opportunity to just do it. Had to get a little sip of water. This sun is beaming out here today. But as we wrap up, that's everything in a nutshell of what I learned from week 1. Just a sense of safety, going back to your younger self, identifying those enemies and those champions and that shadow artist within you that you don't know too much about. Those were the main themes for week 1. So as we wrap up, make sure you switch all like your negative beliefs to positive beliefs as you move forward. And I can't wait to show you guys what week 2 is about. Very excited for that video, so be on the lookout. But if you would like, in the description I have a link where you can grab the book right on Amazon if you're interested in starting this journey. Very, 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 very highly recommendable that you start this journey. And lastly, if you want to join my group chat of people who already have started this journey and sharing their stories and their feedback from the book as well, that's another opportunity within the description. But in this state, like now, we're healing. Week 1 was really all about healing and being safe. So I'm excited, and I hope you are too. So see you next time.